Hello everyone, welcome back to Bookishly Yours, where we discuss everything bookish. And I am back with a long form video. I think it's been a while since we did a long form video, right? For the past few days, we've been doing a lot of live streams because we had the time for live streams. I didn't really have the time to record and edit long form video content, but I'm back and I'm back with another book review. This time it's a thriller. If you have seen my live stream about the recent book haul, specifically the library haul that I did, you will know that I talked about a mystery thriller by James Patterson, and I just finished it and I'm ready with my review. So that's what we'll be dealing with today. And this is the book that I'm talking about, James Patterson, and the book is The Ninth Month. Okay, so this is the book, and the story deals with a person called Emily Atkinson. She's a social elite. She has a lot of money, and she worked in an ad agency, and she had a very, let's say, a very colorful life, a flamboyant life, and one of her addiction is alcohol and drugs. So in the midst of having this sort of a lifestyle, she falls sick and is admitted to the hospital, and along with all those diseases that an alcoholic and drug addict would have, she finds out that she is also pregnant. And that's where she befriends this person called Betsy, who is also her nurse, but then they turn into best friends as well. And Betsy really does, bring a positive change to Emily's lifestyle. And Betsy gives that sort of a positive reassurance that Emily still has time to turn things around and really work things for herself and for her baby and really become a new person. So amidst that, Emily still has this sort of, let's say, a theory that someone is stalking her, someone is following her. She constantly have these sort of incidents where she feels that she is being followed, she's being watched whenever she goes to the Alcoholics Anonymous meetings, to her work, to her room, to her apartment. Every time she feels that there is someone or the other who is watching over her, who is following her around. And this sort of a paranoia gets to her to the point that she talks about it to everyone around her, including Betsy, but no one can find the proof for it. So you know, they just say that, come to the conclusion that it's just a paranoia, it's just her thinking. But then a series of disappearances and murder happen where a few women goes missing and they are found murdered, and all these people, they have a pattern. All these women who have been disappeared and murdered, they live in the vicinity of Emily. They are roughly the same age as Emily, and they are also pregnant just like Emily. And all these pattern and everything added to Emily's paranoia makes the readers itself feel that there is a serial killer out there and it's not Emily's imagination anymore. So the idea or the plot, the main suspense of the plot comes when Emily herself disappears and Betsy along with NYPD detectives, they are on the run, and they have to figure out whether this pattern is real, whether Emily is trapped, whether there is a serial killer out there, and whether no, they will be able to catch him or her at the end, and whether they will be able to save Emily. So that's basically the plot is about. And well, talking about the things that I liked how fast paced the stories are. Almost all of James Patterson's books follow that sort of element where there is a fast pace to the plot. It doesn't lag, it doesn't become dull, it's constantly on a run, and I love that for James Patterson. And for a mystery thriller in general, I also love the short chapters so that it is a quick read. I completed it in a few days. So being a quick read, it has very short chapters, the plot is there, and in every chapter we see a development. Something happens in the form of a plot twist, or introduction of a new character, or introduction of a new evidence, and that keeps the clock ticking. And as a reader, it gives us this motivation to turn the page and finish the story as soon as possible. And added to that, I really like the mystery because throughout the story, we are constantly sympathetic with Emily. We don't know what happened to her. And for me personally, I was just praying that I just wanted to see her alive. That was the way the story was framed out. I just want to see her alive, and I was constantly turning the page and reading, just to make sure that Emily is alive. There is some sort of a hint that Emily is alive. So that sort of a plot twist, the building of the suspense, is something that I really appreciate. So this is something that I really liked in the book, that I really enjoyed in the book. And talking about something that I didn't particularly enjoy, I guess I have to say the predictability of it. Some of the plot twists were relatively easy to predict, especially the culprit when it come to the climax. Um, I had a list of suspects, as I always do when I read thrillers, and usually I get it wrong. Okay, that's the funny part. Usually I get it way wrong. But this time I had my eyes on three people mostly, and the first person, I was right in him being a suspicious character, but I was wrong in the part that he had a part in the crime. And the second person, I really thought he was innocent. At some point, I believe that maybe he is innocent and maybe I was wrong in suspecting him in the first place. But turns out he had a huge part in that crime. So that was a shocker. And the third person, again, he was suspicious. I didn't know his part. I had no idea how he would fit in it, but he was suspicious. He stood out as a gray point, and I was right. So, for me, some of the plot twists, some of the hints, and mainly some of the characters out there were easy to predict. And the thing about predictability is that, especially when it comes to thrillers, when you're able to predict quite a lot, then it sort of takes the fun out of the thriller, and the story will also become predictable and you will lose interest. I'm not saying that's what happened in this book for me, but somewhere along the way, I was able to come to the conclusion about what would happen in the end before I even reach the ending. And that's not something that I usually come across. For me personally, that's not my experience when it comes to thrillers. So I would say the plot being predictable is something that, well, that's not something a lot of people out there would really maybe enjoy. So other than that, I would also say Emily being a complex character and a flawed character. I won't say that as a negative point or anything, because it's really essential that we need to see a person as it is. Most often times in books, we see a person as this sunshine, picture perfect, who doesn't have any flaws or anything. So it's very nice to see a person depicted as it is, which makes it more relatable, For Emily, there are parts where I liked about her, there are things that I didn't really liked about her, and we are presented with the flawed character who really wants to change, who undergoes a character development that is very, very relatable and realistic. So I would say that is something that I really enjoyed as well, but I'm not sure how many people would appreciate that kind of a character sketch. But then again, these are some of the points that really came to my mind when reading the book, and I thought I would share it with you. So, this is once again The Ninth Month by James Patterson, and I really hope you will read this book, especially if you are a fan of mystery thrillers and psychological thrillers, especially. Then you will love this book because especially because of the pace and the short chapters. It's a quick read. You will be able to finish it in a few days, probably, if you have the time, because of how much the plot really moves forward. and the plot twists are also nice. And like I said, the characters, they do stick to you. At some point, uh, I still remember Emily's characters and a lot of incidents that is related to her. Even though I finished reading a few days ago, it's still fresh in my mind. So it contains characters that stay in our mind for a long time. So this is the book review for The Nine Month by James Patterson. I really hope you enjoyed this book review, and just let me know what you are currently reading in the comment section, and I will come back with a new book review. Till then, if you are a new viewer, then do subscribe my channel for more book related contents, and if you are my regular viewer, then do like this video and share it with your friends, especially fellow bookworms. And that's it. Bye.